Hey, how's YouTube? What's up? How's it going, everybody? Happy for y'all today, the team builder for week 3 of APA. Now, if you guys may have missed our week 2 battle, which was done live, a link to that should be down in the description for you guys to go check out. Now, there is a good chance that this match may be post-commentated, but that's just because this match is probably happening when my kids will be up. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that for tomorrow, but I'm going to be trying something a little bit different with post-com league battles, so let me know if you guys will like that. So just, yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow and you guys will get what I mean. So if you guys are excited for this team builder, make sure to show our support, hit that thumbs up button down below. Let me know about the comment. Let me know what? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about our team and what you think about our matchup. Now, I will be honest with you guys, this is an absolutely dreadful matchup for us. Like, this is about as bad as our matchup in PGBL week 4, which if you guys saw that team builder, then you know just how terrible our matchup was in that game. But luckily, we were able to pull out a victory, so maybe we will go down the same route in this week's battle. However, though, the thing about how divisions work in the APA is that even though okay, so basically going into this match, I'm almost set on the fact that we're probably not gonna win. Now, don't take that the wrong way. That's not me saying, oh hey, I'm not gonna try and I'm not gonna put any effort. No, I'm still gonna be trying my best to win, hopefully pull out a W, and I'm not gonna be going in thinking, all right, I'm just gonna kill what I can and lower the score as much as possible. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that because this matchup is so hard, and we do have a pretty good opponent in the form of GeneralTarheel, coach of the Charlotte Charizards. Check him out, his channel link is down below. He's also part of the P4G Next Generation, if I'm not mistaken, so yeah, definitely check him out. Very solid battler. Did a little bit of scouting. He did very well in the previous season, so I definitely know that he knows what he's doing, and that kind of just adds on to the more to this match, essentially, because of how bad of a matchup we have, and then our opponent also is a very good player, so he can't take advantage of that matchup to potentially the fullest extent. So the main thing I want to do going into this match is just kind of get a feel of what essentially he's gonna want to try and bring against us, or kind of get a feel of how exactly he plays on the off chance that we do have to potentially face him in the playoffs. So currently we are #1 in our division, so even if we lose this week, it shouldn't be that big of an issue, because as long as we can stay in the top 2 of our division, then we should be guaranteed to make playoffs regardless. So if I take one L this week, then I'll let it be this one, but it'll give us a good kind of like general understanding of our opponent, because I don't really know too much about him. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go through this team builder. But yeah, with all that being said, rambling aside, let's take a look at the matchup down below me. So first off, I just kind of lose to Greninja and KyleAye, because KyleAye is the GOAT. If you guys saw my run in P4G last year, then you will know that KyleAye was our MVP of the season, getting the most kills, and I think got 2nd overall KOs in the entire league. It was at least top 3, I'm pretty sure, so that's really awesome. And it is one of his Z-move mons, so he knows exactly what the GOAT can do, and KyleAye is absurdly terrifying in this matchup, especially if it turns out to be like double dance or just kind of like a bulky breaking set. I could see him maybe wanting to bring Assault Vest. That could be a little bit annoying as well. And then Greninja, I literally do not switch into Greninja. Like, look at my draft, look at Greninja, look at all its coverage, and it just basically gets a kill every single time, which is bad. And then he's got very bulky pivots in the form of potentially Assault Vest Electros. He's got Toxapex, which I definitely expect him to bring Toxapex and or Electros, probably both, maybe one or the other. I don't expect Piloswine, Kamala, Gourgeist. Those 3 I really don't think are going to come to this game. Togekiss may have a chance to come, but if it does come, we should be able to deal with it accordingly. Then Alakazam could be a little bit annoying if he does want to bring it, but if he does bring it, then I'd much rather see it over something like Charizard X or over one of his bulky pivot mons. So yeah, then Landorus, of course, is another terrifying Pokemon to prep for. Landorus, arguably top 2 best Pokemon in a draft league format. Basically, this draft is just very offensive. So that's something that we're gonna kind of have to deal with, and hopefully we can do well against it. So with that being said, let's jump into the first team member. So of course, with how big of a threat Greninja is, we are going to be bringing Assault Vest Tangrowth. Now the only issue is is that if he is running Mixed Life Orb or just Mixed in general, Gunk Shot can knock us out. However, though, it depends on how much attack investment he will exactly have to guarantee it to a KO. I guess he could maybe bring like Scarf Greninja, but I really think like Life Orb or maybe Wise Glasses is probably the route to go. Maybe like Expert Belt, Metronome possibly, but just in general, Greninja is absurdly hard to switch into. Tangrowth is also just a really good Pivotmon into his Landers potentially if I'm able to scout out to see that it doesn't have a Z move or it doesn't have the Flyinium Z, and then that's going to be really good because then at that point it won't be as big of an issue. This is a good pivot switch into the Alakazam as well, also why I'm really not concerned about it. Rock Tomb is absolutely amazing because it allows us to stop the Charizard, the Cobalion, and the Landers from boosting their speed too much, hopefully. So we can pressure it, keep them at only like +1 or like regular speed, and we should be good to go. We do have Hidden Power Ice to be able to do as much damage as possible to the Landers coming off of a defensive set from Tangrowth knockoff, which is really nice to kind of spam items, not spam items, sorry, spam knockoff items or just knockoff items in general. We can also scout out potentially for like Black Sludges, berries, Assault Vests, anything along those lines. And we have Focus Blast mainly because Focus Blast hits Cobalion and it hits Greninja. I believe it does have a chance to OHKO both of them, depending on how much bulk they are exactly running. Actually, we always OHKO Greninja, if I'm not mistaken. And then depending on bulk, we may OHKO Cobalion as well, or we guarantee a TKO, which should be good enough in its own. So yeah, we don't have any Grass Stab, but realistically, like, look at his team. Grass Stab doesn't hit anything. Like, I guess it would hit Piloswine, but I mean, I can just knock that off and Focus Blast, so yeah. Plus, I don't think he's gonna bring Piloswine. Like, I really don't think he would bring Piloswine and Landers. Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me. So yeah, Tangrowth just kind of here as a bulky Pivotmon, and hopefully we can try and kind of check Greninja with this. If we're able to just live 2 hits in general, I'm always going to be going for Focus Blast against the Greninja, and as long as we don't miss, we should be in a pretty good spot. I could also potentially go for the Rock Tomb to put him at -1 speed to maybe try and revenge kill him with something else, but we'll see how things go. So next off, we have kind of a second check to Greninja. We have Kabaya Berry, Kabaya. Shouts out to the Bullet Punch Club homies and the front office homies as well for helping me build. But for the most part, Primarina can actually really pressure his team. I think Psychic does have a good chance to 2 KO Toxapex, which from what I've seen from his builds initially, or what he's mentioned about his builds, he doesn't typically run like max Spadef, max HP Toxapex, so that's what I'm kind of going off of with this team builder. If he does bring max Spadef, max HP Toxapex, then that'll be something to definitely heavily consider in potentially a second game if we do play him in the playoffs. So for the most part, Psychic does have a really good chance to 2 KO Toxapex if he's not max Spadef, max HP. If he's just like mixed defensive, then it just gets blown back. Also, if we have Stealth Rocks up, that's going to be really amazing. Moonblast and Scald is actually really spammable against his team. His only real switch-in is the Toxapex, which of course we have Psychic for. And Substitute is there in case we are able to set up a substitute against potentially like a switching out Piloswine or a switching out Pex even. Maybe if we are able to force out the Cobalion, or if he does bring a choice Greninja, then we can force that out. If he doesn't have Thunder Punch on Charizard X, which I think he should have, then we should be in a pretty good spot. This just initially applies a lot of offensive pressure, and if we can get behind a substitute, we should be in a pretty good spot here. I believe we are running a little bit of speed creep. That is to outspeed the Gourgeist, the Kamala as well, if they're running any bit of speed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so depending on the Gourgeist form, we can outspeed it, and then we might be able to outspeed Electros. Yeah, so we're also able to outspeed Electros, which he shouldn't want to run speed on Electros anyways, and then we guarantee outspeed the Piloswine regardless. So yeah, hopefully Primarina can just apply offensive pressure in this match, and we can maybe try and spread burns around. So next off, we have Choice Specswellow, because look at his team, look at Specswellow. Not even Cobalion. Like, unless he brings Assault Vest Cobalion, that's not switching in. Like, Boom Burst alone to like just regular Cobalion, I think is a 2-hit KO after Stealth Rocks, which is really great. Now again, this is coming off the basis that he doesn't bring max SPDF, max HP Toxapex, which even if he does bring max SPDF, max HP, if we're able to get up Stealth Rocks, I think we do have a really good chance to 2-hit KO it on the switch in, and I highly doubt he's going to be bringing Protect on the Toxapex, because he would need to have Recover, he needs to have Haze potentially, Scald and Knockoff is what I'm thinking he's going to bring. Arguably he could have Toxic over Haze maybe, but yeah, I guess Toxic would make sense. I mean, I don't really have too many good setup mons in this matchup anyways, or I don't really have too many mons that are given a free chance to set up, so yeah, Haze is kind of iffy on whether or not he's going to bring, but if he does bring Toxic, then we can scout out for that. U-Turn is just kind of there in case we need to gain momentum. Like if he does bring Assault Vest, Electros, and I haven't got off any damage on it, we can just U-Turn out against it and then go from there. Heat Wave was kind of a toss-up because I wanted Heat Wave and I wanted Hurricane, but at the same time, I really wanted Defog just in case I needed like a backup form of getting rid of hazards in case he brought Toxic Spikes to this match. Which I don't think he should bring T-Spikes just because there's not really too much on our team that's going to be entirely affected by it. And then we also have Rapid Spin, we have a lot of Defoggers, and then we have a Mega Beedrill in the back as well. So yeah, I really don't expect him to bring T-Spikes, but if he does bring them, then they could be a little bit annoying, but we should be able to play around them and work around them regardless. But I was debating between Hurricane or Heat Wave. I think Heat Wave actually just does slightly more damage than what Hurricane is doing to the Cobalion, but arguably Hurricane may be the better move to bring to this match, just because Specs Hurricane still hits his entire team for really good damage as well. But we'll see how things go. For the most part though, Swallow's just kind of here to try and apply some offensive pressure, hopefully break through his walls, break down his walls, and not let anything just kind of freely set up. So moving on to the next team member here, we have Umaga the Donphan rocking just a nice defensive set. Again, I haven't really found too many chances to like bring offensive Donphan like I did in GBA. For the most part, I think on this variant of team, like defensive Donphan is probably better. Like I didn't draft this team, so yeah, but defensive Donphan seems to be what mainly kind of fulfills a lot of roles that I needed to do, because I could bring offense, but I don't think it has that good of a matchup in this game. Regardless though, this is just here to kind of check physically offensive Cobalion. We can chip down the Cobalion, we can chip down the Charizard. If he's got like U-Turn Landers, we can chip that down. We can also hit it with an Ice Shard, which is really nice. We can chip down U-Turn Kamala or Electros, and then we have Earthquake to hopefully be able to do some solid damage to the Toxapex, put it in range where we can maybe revenge kill it or force it out and just potentially get another KO with something else. Stealth Rocks, of course, are going to be really handy in this match. Like he needs to bring something with Defog, I think, if he brings Charizard X, which means he is probably going to be bringing Defog on Landers, which means it's not going to be as scary if it was just like offensive setup. He could have Defog on Togekiss, which means it may not have a coverage move or setup move, and then if he brings Kamala, I'm not too concerned about Kamala because we should be able to deal with that accordingly. But yeah, if we're able to get up Stealth Rocks in this match, that is going to be absolutely amazing. And then of course Rapid Spin, so we can try to get rid of potentially T-Spike, Stealth Rocks, or just any type of hazard in general. So yeah, not too much to say about Donphan. It's just kind of here as a physical defensive check to his offensive checks on the physical side. So moving on to the next team member here, we have 5150, the Scarf Tauros. And Scarf Tauros in this match actually has a really good matchup in my opinion, because with Scarf, we're able to consistently check the Cobalion. We can outspeed the Charizard even if he gets up to +1. I think we are actually running on outspeed to outspeed +1 Charizard. So yeah, actually Charizard shouldn't be able to get up a free Dragon Dance on anything on my team, or get up 2 free Dragon Dances for that matter. So I'm not too concerned about that, and I should be able to prevent him from getting up 2 Dragon Dances in the first place. Body Slam is just really spammable against his team. It's really nice because I don't have to risk missing with the Rock Climb, and if he doesn't bring the Gourgeist, and if I weaken the Cobalion, then that's going to be even better because we can just spam Body Slam against his entire team. Ice Beam does not quite OHKO Landorus, but it definitely does enough damage to put it in range of where Ice Beam into Rocks, into Body Slam, should be able to knock out Landorus unless he's like purely physically defensive, in which case we'll find some other way to deal with it. Earthquake is my hardest hitting move to hit the Cobalion and the Charizard in case he does want to bring them. Earthquake is also really nice to be able to potentially 2-hit KO Toxapex depending on how much bulk investment he is exactly running and how much chip damage I'm able to get off of it. And then Facade is super nice because if I get burned by like Scald, or maybe I switch into a Toxic or something along those lines, then I can take advantage of that because he's going to be boosting my Facades, and that could potentially give me a surprise KO or two. So really actually hoping that he does status my Tauros, because that would be pretty awesome to use Facade. So yeah, moving on to our final team member here, we have Rotom, aka Mama. Now, this was originally going to be an entirely different Pokemon, but I think I'd rather just save that Pokemon for potentially a playoff match. But Rotom, there's not really too much thought behind this set, honestly. My main thought was that if this can just kind of disrupt his team, kind of like our week 1 matchup in APA essentially. Rotom is just kind of here to hopefully disrupt this team. We can also spread around Paralysis because we have Discharge. Maybe getting a para on the Cobalion or the Charizard would be really good. Hidden Power Fire is our stab move on here, and it does do decent damage to just about everything. Electros is kind of annoying to the set. If we can sub all the way down, we can do a good amount of damage to the Toxapex. Actually, I think we can even 2-hit KO Toxapex, and then if we paralyze Toxapex with Discharge, that'll be absolutely amazing. But yeah, just the idea behind the set is just to kind of disrupt this team. We can spread Paralysis basically, and just kind of go from there. So yeah guys, that is going to be our squad for this week. Again, really tough matchup. Part of me is just kind of like, we're probably not gonna win, but it's fine. We can afford to take one loss. We're still #1 in our division by a good margin, so hopefully this will be the only loss that we take and we can stay on top of our division. And if we do play the Charlotte Charizards, I don't know why I was thinking about Mega Beedrill for a second. Okay, the Charlotte Charizards, then we can bring some other little tricks that we may have up our sleeves. So yeah, definitely check out our opponent, guys. Check out everybody in the APA. Hit that thumbs up button down below and let me know what you think about our team and the matchup in the comment section below. With that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So thank y'all for watching. Later.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks.